Welcome to three insights in about 3 minutes. I'm your host, Drew Dinkelacher from marketingaccelerator.com. Today, we're talking with Bryan Hogan, and Bryan is the CEO of Afidence, which is a business advocate and IT provider headquartered in the greater Cincinnati area, actually located in Mason, Ohio, but their footprint is much, much larger than that. Bryan's an experienced business leader, and he shared with me his concept of load up your toolbox. And it's a way to really help leaders make decisions in uncertain times on what I should do when everything is just changing. So Bryan, take it away. Tell us about loading up your toolbox.
So in the past, inherently, I'm kind of a problem solver. That's my nature, right? Is, hey, here's a problem. Okay, let me go work with our team to figure out how to solve this problem. Well, the issue with that, the limitation of that, especially with a crisis like COVID, is the problem is evolving. So it's not like, in 24 hours or 48 hours later, as a business owner, I could step back and say, okay, here are the parameters we have to work within. Let's go solve this problem. The problem continues to evolve. So rather than getting in the mode of let's go solve that problem, get in the mode of figuring out, hey, what tools would be helpful for us to solve aspects of this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes the pressure off of saying, oh my gosh, there's uncertainty happening. Let's go figure out how to fix this problem right now. Well, that creates a lot of anxiety. At least for me, it creates a lot of anxiety to think I've got to start making decisions immediately versus saying, okay, let's take a step back and start figuring out what tools would be useful to help us navigate through this crisis. They could be everything from, hey, are there expenses we can eliminate? That's a potential tool. Are there tools of saying, hey, do we have to look at furloughs or layoffs? That's a potential tool. There are tools on the other side of saying, hey, maybe things like PPP funds, that could be a tool to help navigate through this. There are other expenses we will likely incur, like things like PPE expenses. But start loading up your toolbox with different levers, different types of tools that you may want to or may need to use, so that, again, as this problem evolves, suddenly you realize, oh, hey, wait a second, here's a new aspect of the problem. You know what? We've thought about this in advance, and we can actually start doing X, Y, and Z because we kind of loaded up our toolbox with those aspects. So again, for me, it released the pressure of you have to make some decisions right now to go solve this problem, and allowed me to take a step back and say, hey, let's figure out, the different types of things that we could do as this problem evolves. Because again, I think especially in the first 2 or 3 weeks, it seemed like every day was something different. So again, that's certainly helped me a lot.
Bryan, thanks so much for sharing the load up your toolbox story with us. One of the things I took away from that was, first of all, just the recognition that the problem is evolving, especially during these COVID uncertain times. And I like the concept of trying to figure out what tools would be helpful. You're not 100% sure, but it's great to have it in your toolbox in case you need them. And the benefit of that is that it releases you from the pressure of making decisions now. You're just loading up the toolbox. You're not committed to it, but you're just loading it up so that you can make better decisions later. Thanks so much for that, Bryan. And hey, if you have an IT toolbox that you need to load up, give Bryan at Afidence a call. Or if you have a strategic toolbox that needs some work or just to talk through it, reach out to me at marketingaccelerator.com. That's it for this edition of 3. We'll see you next time.